I believe this is where we left off in our notes, so I would like you to open up your notes to the page that starts with the carbon-12 isotope question. A carbon-12 isotope has a 5-day half-life. If you start with 50 carbon-12 atoms, how many atoms will be left after 60 days? We're going to set this up because just like we would if we were looking at partial events happening. So half-life means that we are cutting it in half. We are starting with 50 and we want to look at days. So my initial amount here would be 50. I know that half-life means half. And then we would say that we had left this many days out of 5 days. So anytime you want to substitute the number of days, you can put this right here. How many will be left after 120 days? You would set this up. Plug in 120 on the top of your exponent, on the top of the fraction in your exponent spot. When I put this in Desmos, this is what I get. A really, really, really small number. If I wanted to express this number using scientific notation, it would look like this. 2.98 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Negative 6, the power of negative 6. But either one of those methods, if you showed it in standard form or scientific notation, both of them are acceptable. Let's look at number 2. An isotope named after its research team, UY, every 10 years is reduced by 16%. If the isotope starts with 100 units, how many units will be left after 245 years? Remember here that we have a decay of 16%. So when we're looking for our decay factor, we actually have to do 1 take away 16% in decimal form. So our decay factor, or our multiplier, would be 0.84. Go ahead and take a moment and write the rest of the equation. Hopefully, you started off with 100 units. We found the decay factor together. And this happens every 10 years. So we're going to make our x out of 10. Now take a moment and find out how many units will be left after 245 years. Hopefully you have plugged in 245 for x. If you have, this is what you should have gotten. After 245 years, you would have 1.39586207727, not very many